All right, so welcome back to Awake and Alive. I wanted to introduce you today to my personal coach and mentor, Gus Petersen. We just got done doing some clubs in kettlebells, and Gus has an incredible story that I thought it'd be awesome to share with you. So maybe, Gus, if you could, by starting to introduce yourself, and then maybe how you got into kettlebells, and then the story that we talked about earlier.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Gus Petersen. I've been doing kettlebells now since 2003. I borrowed Power to the People from a buddy of mine, and the thing that stuck out in my mind was the power breath and the body tension. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this is amazing. And those two simple concepts I knew would change my lifting potential and that of my clients. And at the back of the book was a picture of these strange cannonball looking things with a handle. Mm-hmm. And so I ordered a couple of kettlebells, and that was in 2003, and then a year later I became an RKC instructor.
Were you doing any coaching before that?
Yeah, I had been coaching for a little more than 20 years at that time, full-time as a personal trainer.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was doing a lot of stuff with the Swiss balls, Paul Check type scenarios and techniques, and some body weight Navy SEAL training, and I did a lot of martial arts training and self-defense training.
Paul Check's an interesting guy.
Paul is a brilliant guy. Met him a few times.
He's very into the spiritual side of
and he is the nicest guy. Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's cool.
Yeah, he really is.
I think he's Laird Hamilton's personal mentor.
That's not a bad gig.
Yeah.
And another great athlete, Laird Hamilton.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you got into the juggling, and then it was a few years ago you suffered a stroke. Is that right?
Yeah. Let me think. It's been 7 years ago now. 7 years ago. Yeah, 2011, November 2011. We were coming back from seeing Karen's folks in Arkansas, and we'd been on a late night flight, and I probably was somewhat dehydrated, and got up 5:30 in the morning, was getting ready to make coffee, and I was like, Karen, I don't have anything going on this morning, I'm going to go back to sleep. So about, 30, 40 minutes later, I got this incredible vertigo, but it just kept going. And so Karen was just walking out the door, and I called to her, and she came in, and the room was just spinning. It was the craziest thing I'd ever felt in my life. And I was so nauseous from the vertigo that I was just really sick. And she made an appointment with our doctor, and I put some clothes on, and I'm just too big for her to help me out. I can help you, and I said, I don't think so, because I had no balance. I could not walk at all. I tried crawling to the back door. I got sick as a dog, and then we called an ambulance. We went to see the doctors in the emergency room, and they were thinking, well, maybe it's an inner ear thing, because we had flown the night before, and of course I had my best face on. So they sent us home, and I had an episode where I thought I was going to get sick, and Karen came in the room, and I passed out. I had a seizure, and I remember just being out and then kind of hearing my name, and then I kind of came to, and there was Karen jumping up and down yelling my name, which was good because it kind of brought me back. I saw my legs shaking, and she's like, I go, wow, what was that? She goes, I think you had a seizure. I go, yeah, I think you're right. So we went back, and then they did a CAT scan. Karen insisted they do a CAT scan, and that's when they saw that 70-75% of my lower left cerebellum had been destroyed. So that's when they were thinking that it was a stroke. And then the next day they gave me a what is it called? Echo esophageal. I forget what it's called, but it's an EET, and they stick a camera down your throat.
Oh, okay.
And that's when they found the hole in my heart. Okay, it's a PFO.
Oh, okay.
And that's what after 52 years, a blood clot was able to find its way out between the hole, between my heart and the atrium, and up into my brain, and that's when it hit my cerebellum.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had no pre-existing health condition or anything that said, hey, you might have an issue?
No, I had, I was in great shape, incredible shape at the time, very conscious of my workouts, of my nutrition, my hydration. No high cholesterol, no high blood pressure, none of that stuff.
Wow. So then from there, some normal people, when they have a stroke, it's often debilitating, paralysis. But you were able to recover extremely quickly.
Yeah, and of course the doctors. It happened on a Tuesday, and the neurologist came in on a Tuesday night, and a great guy, very nice guy, but he was like, it's going to take you 4 to 6 months to learn how to walk again. Mm-hmm. And of course, I remember thinking, nah, I don't think so. I think I can do it, but maybe you just, you're in denial or whatever. So 4 days later, I was able to stand and take some steps, and I was feeling pretty good. So it just blew them away, and so they released me from a hospital on a Friday. And I'll never forget, the nurse was awesome. She's like, it's hospital policy to have to wheelchair you out, but you don't look like a guy that wants to go out in a wheelchair, so we're going to waive that. So that was awesome. Yeah. So I walked out, and I kind of hung low on Saturday and Sunday, and I remember early Monday morning having this dream. I was juggling in my backyard, but I was dropping everything. Yeah. So I went out, and I was still a little bit dizzy, but I was catching them. Yeah. And I did have my heart rate monitor on, and I got my heart rate up to like 173 a couple of times, Yeah. And I went to work that morning, and it's a big deal because you're like, wow, where am I? And then I was feeling kind of insecure about where I was at and what was going to happen, and I remember a friend of mine who's a trainer came up to me, and she's like, where you been, surfing or something? I go, yeah, something like that. And that's when I knew everything was going to be okay. But I was so lucky because I had some dizziness for a while, but everything went really fast, and I started feeling good, really good, quickly. And Karen and I were actually, I remember skiing like 3 weeks later, and
that's amazing.
She's like, come on, let's go through the trees. I'm like, no. She goes, come on. And so she's the kind of girl where she'll push me, right? And that was, I think, really good because I think the faster I got back to my normal routine, the better. And we had a great day. It was a beautiful bluebird day up in Keystone, skiing through the trees, and so I felt really lucky to be able to do that so quickly. But it was just an amazing process, and I don't know if I really still understand it. Yeah.
But were you into the indoboard and all the balancing stuff before that, or is that something you got into after you?
Yeah, that's a great question because I did. They were having me do what I thought was some pretty funky stuff, like marching with my eyes shut, and I was like, I'm not gonna be skiing with my eyes shut, So I started getting into the indoboard big time after that, and so I've got a video on YouTube that you've seen, 55 indoboard rides, and that was part of what I was doing, was really pushing the indoboard to really work my balance. And so all those skills are post stroke.
And nothing has kept with you since, no side effects or anything?
No.
Training has eliminated all of it pretty much. Right?
Yeah, it really has, and that was the thing that Karen and I really realized is that I had clients that would bring me articles, and I would look at them, and I'd be like, they would say, this is an article, this is an amazing recovery, and I would think, man, that's not so great because these people were really struggling to get their lives back, and they weren't there. They had a portion of it back, and that's when I realized how lucky I was to have really completely recovered, because I realized after all the research that I did after the stroke that people with the severe brain damage as I had don't make 100% recovery. So, and I really put a lot of the credit to the CAT fitness system that I did, because the high neurological demands of that system, not only high neurological demands, but physical demands too. I was in great shape, but my brain was really sharp. And so when that happened, it hit my balance and coordination center. So my brain was able to rewire and reroute incredibly quickly, and that's the neuroplasticity of my brain due to the type of neural training that I had been doing. Yeah,
that's great, because most people, they have something like that, they go home and they sit on the couch, and then they become fearful of doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the opposite of what they should be doing.
Exactly, and I was really so grateful to get back to my workouts right away, and it really, the thing that came to mind, Mikey, was that for me, that my training really validated itself. It was like, wow, I must have been doing some really good things. And so, I always had the thought of, I want to work my body hard, but I've been a martial artist all my life, so the mind-body connection's always been really strong.
Yeah.
And, since then I've been doing primal move, Indian clubs, the indoboard, things that have a high neuro and physical value.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of things that I gravitate towards.
Yeah, that's one of the why I'm glad you brought the clubs today, because you always know to do your endurance, your cardio work, and your strength work, but then you never think, I need to work my brain. And as you get older, the more you sit and work, you don't realize how much your motor skills deteriorate, and that's where like the primal movement patterns, crawling and stuff, seems to do a lot of work.
It's so true, and then the CAT system, that stands it's an acronym for Kettlebell Athletic Training. I've always prided myself on being athletic, and so the things that you have to do that are required in the CAT system are so athletic, right?
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little older. But I still have a lot of things that I want to do, and so I pride myself on keeping my athleticism, my endurance, my mobility, all going. And I think staying sharp is important. If your brain is performing optimally, then so is the body.
Yeah.
And so I really look at it that way.
Have we talked about Don Wildman? Are you familiar with him? So Don Wildman, he's 84, 85. He's the founder of Bally Total Fitness.
Oh, really?
Still snowboards. And there's a story that he learned fakie, is it the opposite direction?
Yeah.
Or on his 80th birthday.
Oh man, I love that. That's so inspiring.
And he said that's his thing, is you just never stop, and you keep the brain moving. That's almost more important than the strength training and stuff.
I think he's a great example, and it's so inspirational. That's what I look at. There's there's so much more skiing, and surfing, and climbing, and other adventures that I want to do. So I really want to keep training myself physically and the neurological component as well. And it's just been a lot of fun. And I want that resilience in my life, because whatever happens, whether it's an injury or whatever, I want my mind and my body, because I think everything comes from the mind. Positive attitude is so important. I want my whatever happens in life, I want to be able to bounce back from it.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, I appreciate you taking extra time. I know I've taken up quite a bit of your time today.
Always a pleasure.
Saturday, but
yeah, thanks.
I hope everybody appreciates you sharing that story. The information's great. And
thanks.
It's, our goal is just to get it out there. So.
Well, and I appreciate sharing it. I think it's important. There's a reason to work your brain and your body.
All right. Well, thanks, Gus.
Thanks, Mikey.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Check out Gus's links. I'm going to link up to the video that he mentioned with his 50 indoboard tricks.
55.
55.
I was
Excuse me. And make sure you watch all the way to the end, because all of his outtakes, Jackie Chan style outtakes, are at the end. Anyways,
right.
Thanks, guys. See ya.